Hello and welcome. So today I'm going to have a look at the Times quick cryptic crossword, and this is being published on Thursday the 31st of October 2024, which is Halloween, and lots of spooky things going on. I've had a complete disaster this morning because this puzzle's been set by Lupa, who's a set we haven't seen very much of. They've only done 3 puzzles this year. The first took me 18 minutes, the second was 38 minutes for a DNF, and the third was 25 minutes. So I wasn't expecting a lot. And I found that after about 18 minutes I had 8 clues left and I was very stuck. So I started pausing the video so it didn't just have me kind of going and I messed up the pausing. So and there's about 8 minutes of me just staring at a couple of clues going and complete quietness. So I kind of eventually finished the puzzle successfully in 44 minutes and 23 seconds, so just shy of 45 minutes. So it was a bit of a toughie, shall we say? And so I think the best thing is I then tried to re-record the video, taking out the words, and it wouldn't let me type anything in because of the way it resets. So I've had to re-log out, log in, and all that stuff. And hopefully I can record it now, and I'll go through how I solved it. So I don't know why I'm gonna reset the time. There's no real reason to, but I'm just used to doing it. So let's have a look at this one across. Skinny chap to live with an Eastern European. So my only thought about that was it could be a Pole, but couldn't get anywhere with that. So moved on to this missile among dangerous cudgels. So missile is a Scud missile, famous from the first Iraq War, and it's hidden in there. So among is our hidden word indicator. Next clue. Cut, pack and speak grace. Had no idea about that one. This one, Baltic supplier seen in moderation. So the Baltic supplier, I was thinking that's probably the name of a sea or something. Couldn't get that one at that moment. Went on to this one. Repeat concerning request. Well, I can see re is going to be there because we've got repeat, and concerning is re. So I needed a word for request to go in there. Attendant king on edge. I was thinking about hems and lips and rims, but couldn't get that. King could be K or an R. Moved on to this one. Short break before prompt recovery. Another clue I couldn't get anywhere on. This one, confused peers heard subscribers. I had a feeling this might be readers, something readers, but that left me with a PHI to put in there, so it wasn't right, but I didn't know what to do. So I kind of left it in there for a while, but eventually I took it out. So I'm going to take it out for now. This one, finally I got one on the board. Actually down here I got a bit more successful. So tragic villain, DiMaggio regularly ignored. Looked at that, went, okay, alternate letters of DiMaggio, which is probably a reference to Joe DiMaggio, the New York Yankees baseball player, IAGO. And Iago is a tragic villain in one of the Shakespeare plays. I don't know which one. Comes up quite frequently in crosswords, so it's one of those ones I've learned because I do not know any Shakespeare really. So irate mod disturbed was clearly going to be an anagram of irate mod and negotiator, and I could see that was mediator, so that went in quickly. Down here, Prime Minister's Paradise went in quickly because Anthony Eden was Prime Minister somewhere around the time of the Second World War, I think just before it, and Paradise is Eden. And then this, animal disease causes amazement. No idea. So that's the crosses. On the downs, unpleasant European gave orders. Well, I thought that was probably going to be an E there for European, so I was looking for a 3-letter word for unpleasant. Couldn't get it. This one went straight in as arch, which is principal curve. So I think curve is an arch, fair enough. And principal, I think in this sense is, think of Dr. Moriarty being Sherlock Holmes's arch enemy, his principal enemy. I think that's how it means. Sometimes arch means to be a little bit playful, I think. Kept going for each terrible day. Now actually at this point I still had the E in here, and I was thinking about this, and eventually I came to conclude that each is per, and terrible is severe, and D is day. But actually I didn't get it that way. I got it from kept going is persevered or perseverance, and then I kind of worked out that's how you get to it. So persevered. Hide missing note, it's froth. So my first thought about that was that froth is lava, so I kind of went with that, and then I thought about it and thought, okay, yeah, what's going on is you've got a hide is a leather, and take the E out of leather gives you lava. So there we go. Private protection from sham firearm. It's a cryptic clue. It's one of the last ones in for me. I couldn't get that at this point. Moved on to this one. in bewilderment, called in contract. So I thought called is rang, and then I sort of just had this moment of inspiration where it's deranged because it's going in a deed. A contract is a deed, rang in that. Bewilderment, I would have thought bewilderment's more confusion than derangement, but fair enough. Then I had a look at this one again and worked backwards from the thinking it was a hidden word, that the R there becomes the Oder, and that is a river. I know that much, so that's good. Back to the Downs. This actually clues my last in, so I won't come back to that. All I could look at in that clue is the fact that we've got a haphazard line in a passing place causing demotion. Well, line's probably going to be an anagram in the middle of it somewhere. I've got an I there, so maybe it's N-E-L there or something. I didn't know. Come back to that one. Remove it, possibly for extra payment. Could see that's probably an anagram of remove it, possibly being the anagram indicator. Extra payment. Had a little play, couldn't get it. Moved on to in error altering instrument. So we had this a few weeks ago. It's actually triangle. It's an anagram of altering. So in error is the anagram indicator. State an inevitable truth in hearing. Couldn't think that. Didn't know whether state was referring to like an American state or inevitable truth. I think something like an axiom is an inevitable truth. In hearing made me think it's probably a sound like though. So we're looking at it for that, and an inevitable truth to be a sound like of a state. Infection found in crusty eye, very simply sty. This one, upset tender love god. I think I struggled on this. I was trying to put raw and O. Eventually I think I came to the conclusion actually love god is eros, which is sore going upwards. Sore being upset, tender, something tender sore. So I think I got that on my second pass, but let's go on to this one. Now here I started thinking, okay, well my pole theory looked good, and that must be a bean pole, mustn't it? So if we look at the clue, we've got skinny chap is a bean pole, we've got to live is to be, and then with an is in the clue, and then East European pole. So that was good. Couldn't get this one at this point, even though only 4 letters. Couldn't get this one, this one, this one I now looked at, I think. And attendant king on edge. So I suddenly remembered that actually the king on edge part of the clue means that we need to put, so I tried to put K or R here, and then I realised actually on in a clue normally means it's the other way around. So that goes to there. Went through my list of synonyms for an edge and came up with verger, or verge, sorry, for an edge, on the R, verger. Virgin's an attendant, so I do the church normally, I think. Had a look at this again, and now I can see I have overtime as an anagram, and now this unravels itself to be readership. So I had the readers in the right readers correctly, but it was in the wrong place. Readership is subscribers, and it's an anagram. So this is where I'd got to after about 18 minutes. Oh, had this one as well. So short break before prompt. So prompt is a cue, and then I thought, well, what goes in there? Rest, a rescue, sorry, and a short break is a rest without the T on the end, rescue. So this is where I got to, really, after 18 minutes, and then spent a lot of time alphabet trawling, so it was slow from here, but go through how I got there. A little bit of trawling got me to bad E, so unpleasant is bad, and European's E, and if you gave orders you bade, I bade you do this. I mean, it's a very medieval phrase, so a bit hard. Looking at that could really only be decorate, and what we've got, it took me a while to unravel that as well, but speak is to orate, which left me wondering what deck is, and of course cut pack, a pack of cards is a deck with a K on the end of it, so if you cut that it becomes deck, so the same trick as we've done here with rescue. And then the sitting around doing not very much for a while kind of happened. Eventually I kind of thought about this one again, and if you state something you assert it, so assert, and the an inevitable truth, so assert, a certainty, so it's a sound like of assert, a certainty, is to state something. That's good. Then we got down. Then I got down to this one: animal disease causes amazement. So I thought about this for a while, and I had this as shun, and then I then suddenly thought, well, maybe this is an animal. and I kind of went in with stag, which made me think of staggers. Now, thinking about that, I can't think why that would be staggers. But actually, the answer is staggers. So that was that was technically my last one in, although I'd always thought it was probably going to be staggers. I don't know if it is actually an animal disease or whether it's a stag and then gers for germs, or I don't know. Disease, gers, don't know. Causes amazement, but you know, if something causes amazement, it staggers you. Now, when you've got ing, that's always an ing, unless the word in here is blitzkrieg. I don't think there's any other word that will fit an I something G formatting. So down to my last 1, 2, 3 now. This one, eventually after a bit of alphabet trawling, I realised this was repetition. So if you petition someone, you make a request. So repeat, repetition, repetition. So I thought that's a little bit hard because repeat and repetition are very close, and normally setters don't do something that close. Here we have private protection from firearms. So I realised that sham is a cod, and I just couldn't get this for a long time. I mean, I think this is actually my third last in. I think I got it before repetition, but anyway. Eventually I alphabet trawled that to be codpiece. So yeah, your privates are protected by a codpiece, and a sham, a piece as a firearm, is a bit of a hard one to get to. So that just left this one, and with this ing here, I realised that passing place was probably going to be something ing. I know I've got haphazard line to go in here, so there's only, I mean, you could have NL, or you could have the reverse of that, or it could be down here. So I had a long old thing, and eventually I came to the realisation, it's a siding. A siding is the passing place on the railways, where railways, and you're sidelining. So there we go. Not completed 1040 at all, but just gone through. But sidelining as a demotion is an interesting one, because actually sidelining, literally the word means put it to the side. It doesn't mean put it up or down. It just, as such. So, but I think in colloquially it does mean to demote someone. You sideline them, so they are taking a demotion as such. So there we go. That's the puzzle. 44 minutes 23 for me. Let me know if you had a go at it and how you did.